Hey Broken T Society, I am back with your short game coach for the Index Experiment, Mr. Parker McLachlin, aka the Short Game Chef. And as you can see, we had found the bunker again, but there are a lot of Broken T Society members in our Discord channel clamoring for some guidance on a longer bunker shot. We attacked the sort of short, splashy, high soft one last time, but this is what many regard as the most difficult shot in golf. Obviously, even harder when we get out to 60, 70 yards, but let's just start for now with 35 yards and talk about, how you select clubs, how you set up to it, how your technique changes.
Yeah, so it is a difficult shot. I've got 4 clubs here. I've got my 60, 52, a pitching wedge, and an 8-iron actually.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so we'll hit all of these, but the 8-iron I would probably save for more like 45, 50, 55 yards. But in the 35-yard range, I'm going to pretty much get rid of my 60. This is going to be gone.
It's gone?
Yep. 35 is pretty comfy for me to hit a 52.
Okay.
But I'm going to hit 52, pitching wedge, and 8-iron, and it's going to actually hopefully seem a little easier after we kind of go through it.
All right.
But to me, this 52 degree is something where I'm going to use a lot of the same concepts that I do in my normal greenside bunker.
Okay.
So I'm going to have my feet wide. I'm going to have this club face open. I'm going to have the shaft in a pretty neutral spot. I'm not going to try to hit any closer to the ball.
Okay.
I'm still going to be splashing the sand, thumping that sand, trying to hit, a couple inches behind the golf ball. And I'm going to let the lack of loft do the work for me.
Yeah, so you've already surprised me with 52, because I think people reserve anything over 56 for 50 yards, I think the fear is you take not enough loft and we miss long and bad things happen, right?
Yeah, a couple interesting stories. I think, I asked Ricky Fowler when we were measuring for these flight lines, I asked Ricky Fowler about, how often he uses his 52 degree out of a greenside bunker. And he said once every tournament round, maybe once every other tournament round.
Interesting.
And I thought that was an interesting story. The other thought process is I caddied for Ricky Barnes in the Sony Open a handful of years ago, and every time he'd get in a greenside bunker, I would just give him his 59 degree, and he's like, no, I'm going with my 48. I'm like, wait, what? And then he would play these shots where his mentality was, I want to get this thing just on the green and let it roll like a putt.
Gotcha.
And so he would play a similar shot that I was playing, but mine was carrying and then checking and spinning. His was landing 2, 3, 4 yards on the green and running to the hole.
So we're actually making it a shorter shot.
Yep.
We're taking that 35-yard bunker shot and hitting a 10, 15-yard shot.
Exactly.
Reducing throws. All right, awesome. Let me see it.
All right, so I'm not going to crush this thing, but I will still bring some speed here. And then that thing, watch it run out almost like a putt.
Yeah.
So my follow through, when I'm trying to hit the high soft one, my follow through is more big and full. This one here, you can observe my follow through is going to be a lot shorter.
That is
one might have
not
gone
safe for work.
Follow through is an important thing to keep it on the shorter side. I'm still definitely focused on the release, but I'm not focusing on this thing releasing this way with my chest staying here like I would for a higher lofted sand shot. I'm definitely moving them more in unison this way, where I'm releasing it, but I'm also still moving just a little bit. So let's go with the pitching wedge. So a pitching wedge, for me, 46 degrees aloft. And this is going to be, again, you can see face is open, shaft is neutral, feet are wide, hands are a little on the lower side. And it still comes out with that nice little run. I'm not trying to fly this 35 yards. Now, let's say I'm trying to hit one to the back edge of the green. I want to fly it to the pin. This one's going to I'm going to make a little bit bigger swing. So it flies to the pin, goes to the back of the green.
And we're still looking about an inch behind the ball.
At least, yeah, 2 inches.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hit close to the ball here. I really want to
Maybe a little fat and run?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, the closer you hit to the ball, the more tricky it becomes, right? To try to predict. might as well hit 2 inches behind it and know that you're going to get a consistent splash, and you bring some speed to it.
Okay, so this looks like a...
So this is my 8-iron.
Okay.
And this is, this is a good one. Like, let's say it's sitting down, like the lie is not very good. And let's say I got 40, 50 yards or so. I'm going to try to fly this to the back edge of the green, 8-iron. So club face is going to be open. Oh, that one came out really bad, but it's still actually running pretty far. So from a bad lie, it changes everything, right? So this is going to be a little bit of a better lie. And that's flying to the back of the green. And then that's my 45 to 55 yard bunker shot.
How many times did you use that on tour? 8-iron. Extreme cases?
Probably less than 10.
You really?
Yeah, probably. If you're leaving yourself with 60-yard bunker shot, you've really messed up.
I was
Or
gonna
your
say.
caddy is really
I was gonna
messed
say
up.
the first rule of long bunker shots is don't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
Exactly
find yourself
right.
with one.
Yeah. So again, I mean, it's the same kind of a concept. Like the face is open, right? I'm not necessarily square in the face trying to hit ball first. Like again, like you said, like I'm trying to hit like a chunk and run. And like
So-
that's how I'm going to expect it to come out every time.
I mean, that ball's coming out sort of dead straight. I think there was a misconception before. Like
Yep.
when you get into 9, 8-irons with bunkers, there's going to be a lot of cut spin on it.
There will be.
Okay.
Those came out fairly straight, but yes, play for a little bit more. Like aim your body a little bit more to the left. It will come out with a little left to right spin.
Okay, so I'm going to try this 8-iron shot if I can.
All right, yeah.
Let's do this. And how open are we talking with this face?
Just a little bit, like 10 degrees open. 10 to 15. Yeah, there you go. So good release, and then just thump that sand. Yeah, so just, it just looks like you're a little bit sort of afraid to hit it, right?
Yeah. Well, it feels like I'm going to carry it about 140 yards. standing
Yeah,
over
but you
it.
know that you're not, because you're hitting 2 inches behind it.
Oh my!
Nice. That was perfect.
That was flushed.
That was so good. Yeah. So that's your 45. That probably flew about 45 or 50 yards.
Yeah.
So hopefully that takes care of like that really difficult one
Right.
that, you leave yourself in the worst spot of all time.
Well, if you play a Jack Nicklaus Resort Course, chances are you're going to have about 6 of these around.
Nice, dude. And even that one is like, ball was sitting a little bit more down.
Yeah.
That's still rolling out to 45 yards.
Yeah.
That's your miss.
That's great.
Ideally, that's what we're trying to do, is build you in a spot with an 8-iron where it's like, okay, you can miss it and it still goes far. If you were to try to hit a 60 degree, 45 yards, you may get 1 out of 10 in that right area. But 9 out of 10, you're going to be probably making bogey or double.
Now, let me ask you one more question as
Okay.
it relates to the long bunker shot.
Yeah.
What happens, because a lot of those are landing short and releasing, we're assuming that we have green to work with.
Yep.
Talk to me about the one where, for whatever reason, we have to carry it 30, 40 yards. What are you going with?
I would still go with a little bit less loft. So I would go with my 52 degree.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say I've got like a decent lie, not great. But I would go with club face still open, and I'm gonna just swing a lot harder on this one, and that's carrying 45 right
Yeah.
there. So, but I would massively harder swing. Like I'm hitting that like I would hit, probably like a 9-iron, 145 yards.
Yep.
Like there was a lot of speed and a lot of energy that went into that. But you could see it got me more height than the 8-iron did.
Yeah.
And that ball was going to be stopping too.
So are we changing anything with what we learned in our first bunker session as it relates to setup, hinge, club path?
Not really. I would just say that the only thing that really changes, if I'm going to go to a shorter pin, I'm going to get down and get lower with it. My hands are going to get lower.
Right.
I'm going to have more loft here. So I'm just not going to quite as the extreme. Hands are still on the low side. I'm not up here, but my hands are also not down here, and I'm not way, okay?
Yeah.
So that would be the biggest difference. But I'm still hinging. I'm still releasing. I would say that for the ones that are coming out lower, my release and my follow through position are going to be more there. So it doesn't really look like I'm releasing it. It looks like I'm kind of holding. There is still a release, but I'm just not releasing it. You know, I'm not releasing it that way to the moon, right? Like that shot, even with a 52, has a lot of spin on it.
It's kind of sick.
Yeah. But I would say that, you know, when I go that shot versus the one that's, the lower one, I'm still releasing it, but it feels like it's going more, like my follow through's more that way.
I think we can end on that one.
I think I finally warmed up.
Yeah. That is the official long bunker tutorial of Short Game Chef. Coach, thank you very much.
You got it, buddy.